welcome back to our channel. We just thought we'd give a 1 week update since we picked up our fluff ball. Overall, in a nutshell, it has just been the loveliest experience. We were both a bit apprehensive about what the first week would look like, and what we have learned is that 1, she is absolutely gorgeous, 2, she sleeps a lot.
Yes, she does.
And it is a very challenging thing to sort of embark on, but we've just absolutely loved it. And yeah, we just thought we'd share some of our highlights from the week that's gone by, and yeah,
and talk about like
a bit of an update.
Yeah, like the stuff that we've managed to achieve in this week, I think has been pretty remarkable.
Definitely. Like, my mum came around today just to help with a few things, because we're going to be moving soon, so everything's happening at the moment, and she was absolutely shocked that she sits by the door to let you know that she needs a wee, which she's just turned 9 weeks old. I mean, I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
She hasn't had an accident inside since, I think, like the day or two after we brought her home, where she was still getting used to everything. And yeah, like she just knows when she needs to let us know that she needs a poo or a pee.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Like, but then that's because from the very moment that we got home, we were as proactive as possible, right? So we would watch how she was eating and watch how she was drinking, and then we would take her outside pretty much within half an hour of her doing either one of those things. And the other thing we focused on immediately was crate training. Yeah,
and I think that the viewers might think, oh, she's cradling her like a baby, like she's going to get used to that, and that's maybe not a good thing. But we do have sort of 3 different areas where she can play and sleep, and the crate is sort of her like chill out zone. When we're eating or cooking, she'll chill in her crate, whether the door be open or closed. And then in the nights, obviously, she's in there with the door closed. But often she loves this bed here, especially if it's by the door and the sun is shining in. She really takes after me. She loves the sun, which my previous dog also loved that, which is quite sweet. And then obviously she's not going to be a puppy forever, so what's the harm in having a few cuddle sessions? I mean, I don't get it when people are like, you shouldn't have her up on you. I mean, we actually don't have her on the sofa unless she's on one of us or on a blanket. We're not going to let her jump up as she pleases. It's one of those things where if we want to have a cuddle, she can have a cuddle. She's not the one dictating, like, I'm going to jump on you now and you're going to cuddle me. I'm going to say, I'm going to cuddle you now, come here, and I'll pick her up. But whenever she jumps up, we are saying no and pushing her down a little bit. And just while she's doing this, she sleeps so much. I mean, at first I was a bit concerned because I was like, why is she so sleepy? Are we not being playful enough with her? But at the end of the day, she's a baby, and what babies do, they sleep a lot. She's growing. She's already grown in a week. Like, my mum saw her today and was like, she has definitely grown since you picked her up.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that puppies sleep 18 to 24 hours a day, which is crazy. Like, we thought like that she was sleeping almost too much, but when we found out the information, like literally she woke up half an hour, ran around for a bit, went straight to sleep, and we were like, is she okay? Is everything all right? Crate training. Crate training was something that we started pretty much the moment she walked through the door. We knew that we wanted her to be settled in the crate and know that that was like her base, and not somewhere where we just push her away to go to sleep. So straight away, as soon as we got home, we gave her some water and some food with some treats, and like we guided her to the crate. You would have seen this in last week's video. So if you want to see that process, then it's there. But yeah, we made sure that the crate to her was a special place where she gets treats and like she gets cuddles, and everything was comfy in there with her bed and the towel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we keep at least 1 or 2 toys in there with her, her blanket that had the scent of her mum and her litter. And in the first few days, she was willingly walking in there, would sleep in there on her own, and we'd shut the door, and then an hour or 2 would go by and she wouldn't even know that she was the door was shut.
Exactly.
And she'd wake up, have a little bit of a whimper, and then we'd either let her out for a wee or it would be just playtime. But I will say, I'm going to be completely transparent and honest, that the last couple of days she has been a little bit like, hang on a minute, I know what you do when I fall asleep in there. You shut the door on me and you go, or you leave the room. So I'm going to be a little bit less willing to go in there. And I don't know if it's something we've done wrong or if we've just maybe let her have this bed a lot more than we should have. But like today, for example, I put her in there this morning so I could go and have a shower and do some like things upstairs. And she howled like the first night we brought her home, and I hadn't heard that howl since night one. It was like a scream. So yeah, I knew that there was nothing really wrong with her, and I sort of just let her cry it out, and it didn't work, and she cried and cried and cried. And when I came down eventually, just not from giving in, just because I was done with everything I had to do, she was shaking quite a lot with like, where have you been, where have you been? And I don't know if that's something that was just a one-off today.
Yeah, that's strange. Like, I wasn't here for that because I was at work. But we went from, like, the first 2-3 nights, we stayed down here, basically next to her crate. And we slept on the sofa where she could see us and she could sense us. And yes, she cried, because obviously that's, you know, she's been taken away from her pack and her family and her mum and all the familiar surroundings that she's in. So obviously she cried, but we just made sure that we were taking her out for a wee and just making it as comfortable as possible. But, you know, you do have to show a bit of tough love and just let them cry it out, because within 10 minutes, she was fast asleep again. And then I noticed that one night I stayed down here, she only woke up once at like 2:30 in the morning. I took her out for a wee, and then she slept until 8:30. And I was like, wow, okay, so maybe we don't need to be down here. And that was only like 4 days in.
Yeah, and since then we've just gone back to our usual routine. She's been down here on her own, and it seems like 2:30 every night. She needs a wee, which is really like clockwork. It's definitely, but look at her. This little brush.
Yeah, I think the name of the game is just be proactive. Like, whatever you want to be doing in like 6 months time to a year, try and make it happen like now. Like, if you don't want it to bite, it needs to be done immediately. If you want it to sleep in a crate, get her used to it straight away, because that has been a godsend for us. Like, we're already sleeping back upstairs, and when we hear her crying a little bit in the night, not even crying, like,
it's a tiny whimper,
yeah, it's just like,
which is why this morning when she was really howling when I was in the shower, I was really confused, because she doesn't even do that in the night
maybe
anymore.
Maybe it's just because she wanted to play, because usually we wake up in the morning, we play with her, we train, we do like just some recall, and what else do we do? Like sit, stay. And to be fair, we'll put some clips in now, but she's really, really good. Like, definitely.
I mean, the thing that impresses me the most, like I've already said, is the sitting by the door to let us know she needs a wee or a poo. Sits, she's really good at. However, I will say that when there's distractions, she isn't as good. Like, if we're in the garden and there's so many plants and bugs and like weeds and stuff, I'm telling her just out of curiosity if she will sit in those moments, and sometimes she's like, nah, I'm not doing that right now. I'm too busy like, playing with the leaves.
Yeah, breaking the concentration is quite difficult, but we're, you know, it's been a week.
But
we're working hard.
That's why we are willing to do sort of group sessions with her. We found a place nearby. It's only like £8 for, it's literally called like playgroup, where she'll just socialise with other puppies. And then we'll also potentially do like a group class, which does exactly what I just said. It encourages them to listen to commands when there's so many other dogs and people around. Yeah. And you have to single out your puppy and see if they will listen to your command when there's so much going on. And really, they're the moments where in real life you'll want them to listen to you. It's not going to be really when you're in the quiet of your own kitchen. It's going to be when you're either in a busy place or over the park and you want them to drop something or stay by you by a road. Like, they're the times where you're going to want them to listen in everyday life. So it isn't going to be quiet, and there are going to be people around.
Yeah, but again, like, because it's only been the first week, yeah, we can't really complain. Like, genuinely, we can't.
Another thing that we've realised this week is that when you get your puppy, if it's around 8-9 weeks, get them a variety of different toys, not all sort of cuddles, because she had like a cuddly lion, a cuddly elephant, a few like rope woven bone sort of shape to gnaw on. And she didn't have any plasticky things like
something
rubber
hard.
or and we got her Kong and we put some treats in there, and she didn't care about the treats. She was just gnawing on it because it was hard compared to her like cuddly toys. So since then we've invested in like a hoop which you can play tug of war with, but it's also just a nice size for her to just chill in her bed and nibble away on it, because it's a bit harder in its texture.
Yeah, she loves it. She loves all her toys, pretty much. Treats and stuff. We'll talk about all this in a separate video, because we don't want to go on about, like, we don't want to digress too much. But all in, first week, completely faultless. It's a shame she's not too awake right now, but we're not going to wake her up just for the sake of this. We'll just throw in some clips. Look at Nala.
Nally. Hello.
Oh, hello. What's that?
Oh, what's this? Nala. Oh, no.
I don't care. I just want to go to sleep. Shut up.
Oh, Nally. Gorgeous. Oh, where are you going? Whee. Where are you going?
She won't wake up. Like,
literally, for no one.
We thought, oh, she's asleep. Let's be quiet.
But we can hoover.
Yes,
I made a smoothie earlier, and she was like, what's that noise? And as soon as it's like she saw me and thought, nah, it's just a smoothie.
Yeah, but I think they do pick up on that, right? So, like, if you make a big deal out of something, then they'll make a big deal out of it. You know, if you just hoover, make it normal. Yeah, no stress. You don't mind. Look at her. We're talking completely normally. She's not going to wake up, trust me. We're going to upload a video next on the 5, like, maybe even 10 top things that we learned in order to help us throughout this week. Whether it be good or bad things, you know, it's a huge learning curve, loads of things to take in and research. And
we've learned a lot already, like the things we thought we'd learnt everything prior to picking her up. And it's just not like that textbook, like finite, like each puppy's different. It's like a child, like you can't just read a baby manual and be like, that'll work for me, because the environment's going to be different, the humans are going to be different, the dog and the temperament, and everything's going to be different. Where their breeder, like what was the environment like there? So what we've learned is a lot. Yeah,
a lot. So much so
we'll leave that for a different video.
Exactly. But for now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video. Give them a boop.